Hey everyone, I'm Sister Lilia and welcome to my armory. So, something very different for the channel. I was in the post office to grab White Dwarf on Saturday and look what I found! I honestly didn't expect it. The guy didn't have Conquest. Wasn't getting Conquest earlier in the years when I moved up here, so yeah. Pardon any background noise you see. So, first off, we have a bag. Now that that's done, we have another bag. This time it's got the subscription thing, which does this actually show us the collection? No, it doesn't. Okay. Come on, all of you come on. So we have a range ruler. Is that in camera? I'm not sure if it... Yeah, it is visible. Wasn't sure if it was visible. Well, get back here. Now you'll have to pardon my neighbour. If you can hear the sound of drilling in the background, that's... Well, I basically recorded this at the one opportunity I had, and that unfortunately meant my neighbour decided he was going to do drilling at the same time as I'm doing this. God, I love timing. So, in this, there are two different sets of bases. There's the bases that the Nighthaunt stuff comes on, or that comes with the Nighthaunt stuff, and then there's the 3 Sigmarines. Or is it, how many Sigmarines? No, it looks like 3. That have their rather neat looking bases. So yeah, now take a look at these. We've got some lovely sculpted robes, funky shields, some interesting hammers. These things are going to hit like tanks. If they behave anything like Space Marine Terminators in close combat. Yeah, loving the sculpting on the robes, far better than I've done. But then they've got professional sculptors. And the helmets. Now, apologies if this is a bit blurry. I'm recording out in the kitchen so as to actually have a clear space that's large enough. And let's just look at the undersides of all the stuff. So that's the Marines. Oh, everybody's misbehaving. Very much misbehaving. Pardon the quick showcases of the bathroom, of the lounge, of the kitchen. So this also comes with 6 white dice. I love the standard GW white dice. And then we have a whole lot of undead dudes that are floating around there and being quite grumpy. Love the candlestick. Just the 3-headed candlestick. Because why not? Heck, I'm partly tempted to take that and use that on a Sister of Battle backpack. And I'm probably going to end up with another one of these because I'm just going to subscribe to the magazine. While I have the funds, for what little time I have the funds. But yeah. So the next part is the magazine, the poster, the part of the booklet thing which has a photo of Nagash on it, and we have the 2 play areas, which I thought would be larger. I thought these unfolded into a large battle thing, but really they're just a small arena. So let's take a look at the poster. I'm just going to unfold it onto the bench. That's a Sigmarine. Now, I'm calling these Sigmarines. I know they're Stormcast Eternals, but they're essentially Space Marines. Gotta love GW finding ways to include Space Marines in everything. So now, let's take a look. I don't really care about the other stuff, but let's take a look at what comes in the set. So on the Stormcast side, we've got the big wing boys, smaller wing boys, Griffin Riders, the 3 gold ones we have from the thing, a whole lot of others. We have some more Griffin Riders. We have some funky medieval gothic fantasy terrain. And then we have a whole lot of undead stuff. Now I'm not seeing, all I'm seeing really is a lot of the undead stuff. I'm not actually seeing much in the way of vampires, which essentially what I'm going to use this magazine as a way of doing is actually starting a vampire counts army. Now, I know they're referred to as flesh-eating counts, but stuff it. I've been into 40k and had White Dwarves since I got into the hobby, so I know them as vampire counts. How about they get this poster in pounds? And that thing's cool. And these all come with each edition of the thing, which is a lot more interesting than what came with the regular one, with the Warhammer one. And we have some things about painting, we have things about collecting, building, battling. Now, an interesting thing that I'd like to mention just quickly when it comes to Retributor is the stuff is very much good as a base, but if you put Balasar Gold over the top of it, it actually looks really cool. That, or you go over it with a brown wash, but either one, or both, works really well. Okay, I'll be back once I've built up the miniatures, and I'll show you more, and I'll cover the rest of what little is to be covered. So before we actually look at the models, let's take a look at the map that comes in this. For Shyish, Realm of Death, Prime Interland, the Prime Interlands. So we have Delic Mons, Nulamia, maybe? Shariad, Kenagile, the Teeth. Why do I get the feeling the orcs named that? We have Castria, and all of these numbers are associated with something. Now, if you want to actually have a look at this, hopefully you've been able to pick this up at a newsagent, or you've subscribed to the magazine. The Great Invasion. Thanks to great quakes caused by Nagash's magical experiments, the Prime Interlands have been drawn permanently towards Sayesh Nidar, the centre of the realm. Okay, enough of my silly voices. Now time for more silly voices! Okay, let's go look. Okay, and here we have the models assembled. Now, I had a bit of trouble, as you can see, with the Nighthawk stuff. I just couldn't get it to click together properly and with glue, and as such, end up with a few of the models ending up with glue on some of their features, like this one's got glue on its face, unfortunately. Now, I might just be back in a moment. I just want to check, pardon me, they're just checking settings, because I thought I might have needed to change something. But yeah, it's like, there's a good chance I'm going to use this, I'm going to remove this model from the Haunt and use his torch thing with a battle sister, because why not? Or maybe I won't, you'll see. I've got a dead person with a chain attached to a ball. What's left of a person. We have the high-fiving axe wielder. Draw me like one of your French girls. Dude who just can't stay dead, he's too excited. We have the guy with the spiky back scratcher. We have the dancing axeman. And I'm just going to be silly with these. There's no reason not to be. We have Mace will travel. Get him in focus properly. Have Mace will travel. We have Excited Dead Dude, who's just kind of not sure what he's doing with his hands and with the axe. We have that candlestick holder who's deciding whether he wants to illuminate the place or whether he wants to be mysterious. And we have Happy Dude with sword. See my blade, it's rusty! Forget the magical swords, this thing will kill you with tetanus! And then we have the Sigmarines, or Stormcast Eternal. Now, part of me is very tempted to use the other models from this set that don't have the pauldrons permanently attached on. Well, I say from this set, but I mean from this whole thing. To actually make Custodes. Like, I'm very tempted to convert them into Custodes later on, because I have a Sister of Silence. I have been wanting to run a Sister of Silence army for ages, and we just keep getting shafted in 40k. Like, rules-wise, we went from being usable at the start of back in 7th edition and then at the start of 8th to not being an actual faction thanks to the changes made because of soup armies and whack players. Let's face it, it was whack players that ruined it for most of us. And GW, instead of taking the easy option and just providing us rules in one of the many half-assed attempts at codexes for a HQ choice and making persecutors troops, there's a name for them, persecutors. Yeah, we just have the shield now. I like the bases these come on. But yeah, I'll talk more about Sisters of Silence later and in their own video on what needs to be done to fix them, because it's pretty straightforward, but it's kind of a nuisance at the same time. Anyway, the magazine itself has got a number of things, like there was the instruction page, there's how to play a basic version, there's a bit of info on the setting, which is always useful. Yeah, if you want to get this, hopefully you can find it at a newsagent. Depending on the newsagents, they may have some left, they may not. I was, like, when I went to the newsagent, I was already in town to go to the supermarket. So, yeah. And I think newsagents are one of the places you can actually go, because they're usually also post offices under stage 4 lockdowns, if Victoria hasn't already gone to stage 5. Things are kind of mental right now. Ah, well. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy and come back for other stuff. Now, for a little hint on something I'm working on at the moment, for one of my next videos, hopefully the next, is it Tiana Palios? The limited edition sister that GW put on order back in June, was it? Not June, in at the start of May. She arrived last week, and I've been working away painting her, trying to paint her up to look like she's being lit by the flames from her base. On the subject of her base, here is it. It didn't have the stones, and for more you'll have to watch the video when it comes out. But yeah, also, good heavyweight painting sticks are just spice containers with some blue tack on the top of them. Rather than needing to spend money on a painting handle, just use leftover products. Anyway, I'll catch you around to another time. You're not going to get to see these painted anytime soon. These are kind of going to just go aside for later, and I'll deal with my Age of Sigmar stuff once I have enough of it to be worth dealing with. Might use the game, have a play of the game a bit anyway to get used to the idea of it, and I'll be back. I'm thinking these Primaris Marines are gonna stomp these these undead into glowy wisp, into ghost dust or whatever. Anyway, catch you around. Bye.